Welcome, everybody. Stone Fruit Roll Up every Thursday here on YouTube and also on LinkedIn. Today is a show I've been anticipating with like giddy little fairy dust, I guess I could say, because one of my favorite people in the whole entire one of my favorite new people in the whole entire world, Renee Hastings, is here. She is one of my 100 TV alums. She is the founder and CEO of Executive Help Now, and I need her help because I am a one-man brand running the show by myself, and I think that she and I will maybe disclose a little bit of how clunky it can be when you're a one-man brand, as you or a one-woman brand, as we should say, making it all happen with digital media and content creation and building a business. I absolutely adore Renee. She is, like I said, one of my favorite new people. I'm so fortunate to have met her through other content creators who are rallying around a project. I've been blessed to be on her show, Renee Speaks, and we've had so much fun working through positioning and branding and business building together. I also had the beautiful opportunity to participate in a wonderful entrepreneurial outreach program she has in the summer that helps high schoolers create podcasts and become content creators. And that was super fun too. So we have a lot to talk about today. And I just want to welcome everyone here in the live stream audience, or folks who are coming in the comments here on LinkedIn and YouTube for the Stone Fruit Roll Up. This is the show about building the show that you're watching right now. We have spent the last several weeks starting from scratch on day one. In episode one, you can see me and Taylor Campia from Make a Scene Media sit down and talk about how to create a live show and flash forward like literally 3 or 4 months. And here we are week after week. And I'm so honored to have a guest like Renee today, who really just shows that ask and ye shall receive. This is a pinnacle of hosting prowess for me to just house this lovely lady in conversation. So let me no longer prep us with the beauty that is Renee Hastings and bring this lovely lady back from backstage. If this were her show, she would have this big live audience applause thing going, which is so impressive. And she also has this beautiful like video intro, which I haven't implemented yet. So she is my hero and someone I'd like to be when I grow up in the content creation world. We'll give her the best Stone Fruit Roll Up applause track that we possibly can as we bring on Renee. That's what I got, Mama. That's what I got.
Perfect. It's perfect. I love it.
Renee, thank you so much for coming to join us today. When the audience hears how you and I have skated around some pretty tight timelines as we live stream with each other, and some confusion around Mommy giving you the wrong link and all the things. I think this is going to be such an important setup for our talk today because, as I mentioned in the beginning, I truly am a one-woman brand running all the things. I don't even have Saturn here anymore because Saturn's back to school, so I don't know how to turn the music down. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. But we are here, and you're going to help me figure out how someone like me who's been operating for 19 years, just building the flame while applying, can stop and get off the hamster wheel of chaos and confusion and jump into the Shangri-La of being emotionally available for innovation and revolution. So
yes, absolutely. And I totally get it. You know, when you're by yourself and trying to produce a show and things happen, wrong links or whatever. But you know what? We're professionals. We just bend and we just kind of go with it. And we're like, hey, I know you're out there somewhere.
Luckily we have email and things. So this is the second time in which I have not just been like, showing up for you in this way that's totally expected. There's been an unexpected element, and the fact that you can just like put a smile on your face and roll with it is exceptional. Shall we share with the Stone Fruit audience what happened when I was on your live show?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, Rebecca.
This show is about being totally transparent in building a show.
Yeah. So it was
Is
just, yeah, we were just getting ready to do a show. And for some reason, we just didn't connect till like 30 seconds before we were going to go live. And so but that experience helped me to start thinking about, well, what would I do if somebody didn't show up for a live show? And
yeah,
so
what would you guys have done? What would you guys have done?
I've learned that what we could have done in that moment that we were waiting on a guest to arrive is just start asking some questions, just start talking about a subject, and then just kind of going for it myself, talking about something that matters to me or something that we were going to talk about with the guest, and kind of preface the show a little bit and just kind of ad lib until the guest arrived, or just kind of make that the show. Have a set of questions available that I can just ask the audience, have them put things in the chat, address the things in the chat, and just continue to kind of go with that. And if nobody responds, just kind of answer my own questions and make a show by myself.
Make a show by yourself.
Learned. Yeah, we learned that from that experience.
Absolutely. I mean, well, I'll say that the disconnect for me was that I didn't recognize from our conversation, and I'm sure it's my fault, that we were going live. I thought we were recording something, so I showed up exactly on time, 30 seconds beforehand. And if I could have captured you and May's face when I finally showed up backstage to what you knew was alive, but I thought was recorded, was like monumental. But I think it's really important about a lesson about business itself and what you have to do as an entrepreneur. I mean, unless I'm mistaken, and I haven't learned as much from you as I think I have about who you are and where you come from, you're not coming from a broadcasting, content creation, video production standpoint. You're an entrepreneur who has seen this as an opportunity to increase your visibility, to have more quality conversations, to engage and delight an audience. So you've had to kind of apply your skill set there towards being a content creator. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how it is transferable. I mean, you kind of have to have some transferable skills from entrepreneurship when you're taking on anything that's like a little bit out of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, definitely. And so you just kind of pull. I love that setup because you basically just pull on what you know. What you know is your experience, the things that you've been through, the things that you are that you have done before. What have I done before? What can I pull on that now relates in this moment that I can use to help me get through whatever this situation is? In our particular situation, it was that you were running late and we had to start the show going live. We hadn't been here before, but I've had to have these impromptu conversations in my corporate office walking down the hall when my boss would pull me to the side and say, "Hey, Renee, where are we with these reports?" And I'd have to come up with something and say, well, this person is working on that, and this person is working on that, and we're expecting these numbers back from this person over here. But I had that frame of reference. I had that knowledge that I could just speak off the cuff with confidence, knowing because I have my team behind me and they've reported in, I've stayed in touch with them. And so I'm able to have a conversation impromptu and feel confident in my response that it's clear, it's concise, and able to be delivered in a way that makes sense to my boss who just happened to stop me in the hallway. Well, happening to stop me in the hallway is kind of like a guest who may not show up for a show on time, and you have to come up with, this conversation that you may have with someone in the chat, or you may have by yourself on a subject that you were planning to have with someone else. So it's just kind of being so nimble, so agile, And when you're doing that, it helps you to build confidence and being able to speak on some things that you have some knowledge about. And you may have been hoping to have the guest be the subject matter expert on it to dive a little bit deeper. But if you don't have that, you just go with what you have, because that's what we do in business. We pull on the things that we know to kind of build on that and bring people in as needed to help us with the things that we don't know. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And on my end, on my perspective, when the screen comes up and I realize we're going live, I also have to shift gears in like 2.5 nanoseconds and be
Right?
ready to go live without, our expectations were different. Yeah, I'm sure it was my miscommunication, but all of a sudden it's like we literally have 10 seconds before you're like, and welcome Rebecca Gunter. I also have to like figure it out on the fly. And I think that these are truly invaluable skills for entrepreneurs to recognize as being less. I think we frame it a lot like, oh, I'm a mess. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so embarrassed. Like, it was unprofessional of me to show up. My host didn't deserve that. And instead, kind of give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back and be like, dang, you've learned so much from having to have the entire responsibility of your business on your shoulders, and be accountable for that in real time and answer like any question and be ready to go. So what I love about you is that none of that was a deal breaker for you. You were ready to like roll on and keep it moving, and you didn't shun me at the 100 TV conference room. For giving you and May a heart attack for sure.
No. Because I honestly believe that every experience that we go through adds value to our lives in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because, like I was said at the outset, we learned so much from that experience. If we had not had that situation happen to us, we wouldn't know how to be prepared in the future if it should happen again. So now that has become a part of our now repertoire of experiences, we've got something else that we can pull on, and that's awesome. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're so welcome. I hope to fuck up more in your in your so you can witness it and learn from it. I'm being glib. But I think, Renee, that what you're speaking on here is so fundamentally important in just framing and understanding the language around something. So instead of calling that a failure, you're like, this is lessons learned. We're experimenting. We're experimenting here. And when it went south, like it's 1 minute before and the guest literally is not here yet. What are we going to do and move forward? How has framing things as experimentation and lessons learned in the field help you be a better businesswoman and build your agency out? Because we know you're not in the hallway wondering if your boss is going to ask you about the reports anymore. You are the boss. So how do you feel about experimentation versus failure, and how has that influenced who you are and how you can show up with all this entrepreneurial energy every day? Like, you blow me away with how bubbly and positive and full of life you are. I want to be around you all the time.
Well, thank you so much for that. I honestly believe that how we look at things, our perspective, and how we manage to frame what is going on in our own mind in a positive way helps you through the situation. So it may look like something very negative is happening, but in actuality, it's not a negative per se. I mean, if someone on the outside could look at it and say, oh, dang, I don't know how you're going to get through that or what's going to happen. But if I look at it like, okay, this is an opportunity, my perspective is, on the outside, yes, this looks like a hot mess. But on the inside, I'm like, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to learn. This is an opportunity for me to find resources that I didn't know I needed. So now I get to go find resources that help me through this situation. And that's what it's all about, what you get to do. Because as you get to do more things, you grow as a person, you grow in knowledge, you grow in experience, you grow as a business leader and entrepreneur. You grow, and your continual growth is what makes you a better businesswoman or businessman, because you're
Why?
continuing to pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're continuing to pull on the opportunities to reach into places that you didn't need to reach before. And the more you need to reach into those places, the more exposure you get to words you hadn't heard before, or people you hadn't seen before, or didn't know before. And so you need these things as you're growing and as you're scaling and as you're building your business. You need these people who know things that you don't know to help you get to the next level. And so it's all about attitude and perspective. I think the more you can frame your attitude toward, this is not a failure, this is an opportunity, and you stay positive about it, the better it is for you as a business person to not be overwhelmed and taken out by the situation.
Because it is overwhelming and you can get taken out pretty
Yeah,
easily. I will
yeah.
share before I want to segue that into like how you're leading your teams with this mindset. But before we do, I just want to say for both of us, we're not pulling up the ladder behind us as we've learned this lesson. We're
Right.
sharing it openly on this forum here for other folks who maybe look at, let's just take the confines of live streaming a show just as an example, who might look from the outside and be like, well, they're all smiles, we went live, the show went on, they maybe had some stumbling blocks, but it all happened, so it kind of looks easy, or we don't disclose the stumbling blocks and it looks easy. But because you and I are here in this quality conversation with full kind of like radical transparency about it, anyone who's watching now or in the replay has the opportunity to just kind of learn a little bit of a lesson from this show. Like, oh, dang, what would I do actually if my live stream guest was not there 1 full minute before I was supposed to click the button? Or what would I do if I was backstage and I didn't know where anybody was? And would I quit and just hang up and be like, I was there, but you weren't? We're helping other folks who maybe haven't had the chance to experiment with this level of what if and be a little bit better. So I just want to
Absolutely.
say, we rock. That's all.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
That's
And I
all. We
love
rock.
that. And I love the way you said we don't pull up the ladder. Once we go through something, every trial or every experience isn't just for you. It's for the next person. It's for someone else to learn so that they don't have to make the same mistakes. They don't have to, reinvent the wheel, or, make 100 mistakes when maybe they only need to make 10 because they've learned from us and our own experiences. And so we don't have to make all the mistakes ourselves. We can actually benefit from others' mistakes. And especially if we share them, we can't be ashamed to share them, because some people are
Exactly.
like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. If anybody finds out, oh my whole world is just crushed. No, tell what happened, because then that way, not only are you being transparent and approachable now, because you don't think you're all that in a bag of chips that never makes mistakes, but people see you're human. Everybody makes mistakes. Even the best businessmen make mistakes, and it's
I,
okay.
I also think that it is in the mistakes that you can fully grasp someone's character. That
Yes.
if I, let's just say that I know we're making a big deal out of something that happened, and we skate through no problem. But I think the larger kind of conversation here is that if you only saw me completely show up on time, never have like an old link because I'm trying to like do all the things at one time and didn't paste it appropriately or have any kind of quality control. you wouldn't know who I am as a partner, possible partner on a collaborative work or a referral or to continue developing a business relationship because you'd only seen me on calm seas. It
That's
is
right.
seeing somebody navigate through fucking up
Yep,
and that
exactly.
you
And all the
display.
like being a duck on the water and your feet underwater are going like this. Nobody sees all the feet under the water going like this, right? All they see is the duck just smooth sailing.
Well, I would contend, Renee Hastings, that you are in the duck sailing business. You no longer walk the halls afraid of a boss who wants to know where the reports are. You have dispensed with your idea of perfectionism, and we've discussed here. I learned about a year ago this really powerful idea that perfectionism is a tool of fear, and I
Mm,
think that's very, very true. And when we're walking fear, we can't innovate, we can't ideate, we can't. Our brains literally will not be in fear mode and an idea mode at the same time. It is mutually exclusive. So when you're walking with perfectionism and you're in that fear, you can't innovate.
right.
And you have built an entire business on the idea of being able to be emotionally available. I love this phrasing, emotionally available for innovation and evolution. I'd love to hear your hot take on that and how you, as this kind of entrepreneur that's not afraid to walk through mistakes with people, don't pull the ladder up, have created all the like duck feed underneath so that your clients look like they are smooth sailing. I know that was a lot. It was loaded. I'm just gonna turn it over to you, Mama.
Well, thank you so much for that setup because, like you said, it is hard to be innovative when you are so bogged down with all of the stresses of running a business, doing a business, trying to make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed and all the people are where they're supposed to be and they have their assignments and they're doing their assignments and they're turning in quality work and that you're able to present to your clients the things that need to be done. It can be so challenging, so difficult because you're so in the business. And so you're so in trying to make all the things, make sure everything is just right. And when you're in that space, it can be a challenge to think about, well, what can we do differently? Or how can we be creative? Or what innovative solutions can we come up with? Because you're too bogged down in the heavy details of all the things that are going on. So what I and my team do is we partner at Executive Help Now, which is our virtual assistant service. We partner with our executives to help take some of those things off of their plate so that they can free up space in their brain to develop those creative solutions and those innovative solutions that they need that they just don't have the capacity to do at this particular time because they're doing everything. They're checking their own email, they're scheduling their own appointments, they're booking their own travel, they're doing their own expense reports, they're trying to do all of the, project coordination and overseeing all the projects. It's a lot. It's too much for one person to do all those things and still have quality of life and be creative and strategic with the future of their business because they're too bogged down in the minutia. I'm going to call it minutia, but that is not a negative thing because the minutia to them, because that they're on a whole nother pay scale that they shouldn't be dealing with these things, are the things that we love to do. Those are the things we truly enjoy doing. Those are the things that we do well, we do fast, we do accurately, and it's easy and it gives us energy and to do those things. So when we're doing and operating in our gifts, it gives us joy to be able to relieve our executive of these things because we're getting what we need to be joyful and productive, and they're getting what they need: more time, more free space in their brain, more opportunity to think about the strategies for the future of growing their business to the next level. So that's how we help businesses elevate and innovate and evolve to the next level by giving them more brain space and more time to do those things that are important to the growth of their business.
Man, I love this I love this framing so much of creating emotional availability to run your business rather than just, duck paddle it underneath the water. I think the thing that makes you accept, have we seen virtual assistant agencies? Yeah, it's not the most it's not new. Not I feel like I've just insulted you by saying it's not the most innovative. What is innovative about yours is that you really are thinking about the clients that you help within their own full ecosystem of existence. It's not just about the executive and their worker bee. It is about empowering an entire team, if they want it, with your entire team to create this like amazing kind of amalgamation of like visionaries and doers and managers. Yes. I would love to hear how you really are team for team.
Yes. So the way our business works, so we have a team of virtual assistants as part of our organization. Each of our virtual assistants has a special gift or special talent that they operate in, whether it's administrative support or human resources or digital content creation or social media management. They all have specific things that they are able to do. And so when a company approaches us or a business owner approaches us and they say, I need someone to help me. I need someone to manage my calendar. I need someone to check my email for me to make sure I'm responding to opportunities because I'm so busy and I have so many thousands of emails and so much of it is junk. I miss opportunities. That literally happened to one of our clients. And they were like, I just missed it. The deadline passed, the opportunity was gone, and I wasn't able to participate because I had too much going on. So if they come to us and they say, I need this kind of support, I need more social media presence, I need someone to create content for me, we are basically your one-stop shop for getting all of those things done. Our team has that capacity to do those things. And once those things are taken off of your plate, you're not worrying about it anymore. It's being handled. And you can now focus on the business strategy for the future, innovation, being creative, all of those things. And even maybe going home at a decent hour. So you might have more dinners at home with your family, or you might be able to make more of your children's games or events or recitals or whatever that might look like. You might be able to take a vacation. How about that?
Oh my God. This does sound like a total Shangri-La. I feel like this has been such a powerful real life meta example of why someone like me needs executive help now. Because if I had somebody from your team who had already figured out, the workflow of scheduling a show, who has had the bandwidth to be accountable for whether or not, did the link actually update in the templated email that you send like every Tuesday before the show to set your guest up for success? Has it been promoted enough? Is the guest getting a fault? Like, I honestly have this idea for a really long time that I want to send to every guest in the mail a box of fruit roll-ups. How easy would that be to do? Yeah, it sounds great.
I love
it. Where are the fruit roll-ups, Renee Hastings?
Right. Nowhere. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Nowhere, because it is so overwhelming to deliver client work, fill your pipeline, chase opportunities to the real life example of your client who was like, dang, I missed a whole deadline. Those things are not emotionally available. God, I love that. Available to you if you are so in the weeds worrying about, getting links up or, being really outside of your wheelhouse. None of us are really one woman brands, and in any shape of the imagination, unless you just want to buy yourself some clients and buy yourself a job. You can't really scale like this.
That's right.
Before you get into that, though, because I know you're going to have a lot to say, I just want to acknowledge in the comments that our very special business in the raw entrepreneur on fire, Janine Payne, is here in the comments. I'm so thrilled to see Janine here, and she wants us to know that she's centered to thinking about mistakes and how it can benefit others. So we are making impact on at least one set of eyeballs here today, Renee. And I just want to acknowledge and welcome the lovely and delicious Janine to the comments. It means a lot to us that you're here.
Welcome, Janine. Thanks for being on the show.
Indeed. All right. So now we're back. To dang, like if I had you, these mistakes wouldn't have been made. How do you get someone who's very used to just doing all the things and kind of making mistakes along the way, learning from them? It's not derailing me, but there's a lot I'm not emotionally available for right now. How do you get someone who's really been a one person or a solo shop finally wave the white flag and help and bring on executive help now to do the things?
Well, that's a great question. And really, I don't think it's a whole lot that I do. I think it's a realization that the clients come to when they're like, enough is enough. I just cannot continue in this way. I cannot continue working 16-hour days. I cannot continue working these 16-hour days, 6 days a week. I cannot. This is not sustainable. This is not healthy. I need help. And when they get to that point and they call us, then we are able to take them by the hand and say, we got you. We are here for you. We are going to take some of these things off of your plate so that you can get more sleep, so that you can have more work-life balance. And then they give us one thing to work on. This is a real-life client experience. They gave us one thing to work on. Basically, it was payroll. She just wanted help with her payroll, getting it automated or just keeping track of it so that she didn't have to keep track of all the timesheets. So we entered in all the information for her for the timesheets, and we made sure that all of the information got where it was supposed to go so that she could process payroll. And all she had to do was click a button. That's it. She clicked a button because all the numbers were already in there and they were already right. And that was already matching what needed to be paid. So she clicked the button, it's done. And so because she wasn't the one to have to put in the time into the system. She wasn't the one that had to verify all the numbers and make sure everybody turned in their sheets. We did that for her. And we were able to save her all that time. So all she had to do was click a button and run it. And the next month we got together and she was like, that was so awesome. That was amazing. Thank you so much for that. This just feels so good. I've been doing everything myself for so long. It just feels good just to be able to do this one thing and have it be done. And so after that, she was like, well, can you do this? How about this? And as we started getting to know more of her needs, we were able to take more and more off of her plate. And her life now is more focused on building the business, making more new networking connections and building her email database. So, and developing a communication plan of rolling out a drip campaign for different things that she's doing. And we're helping her with that. But she didn't even have time to think about doing these things or getting people into a CRM database because she just didn't have that time. That's what we're doing for her. She sends us the people, we put them in the database.
Oh my God, you're like Santa Claus with your talent pool right behind you.
I'm just telling you, this is what we love. We love doing these things. We love taking these things off your plate, getting you set up in your systems for success, for automation, and for sending out regular communications and campaigns to let people know what you're doing in your business. That's what we do, and we love it. Absolutely love it.
I can hear that you love it. And that's one thing I absolutely adore about you, and why I really wanted you to come on today is like, if for me personally, I celebrate my 20-year anniversary of like not working, basically, eat what you kill model for 20 years just in a couple of
Wow.
months. It's,
Wow.
it's,
Congrats, 20
it's,
years.
I'm still here, mama. Like, I'm still here.
I love it.
But and it's like it can be so exhausting. It can be so lonely because you're operating in this silo. There are times where I'm on with my business coach, like, and just want to close the loop on one cycle of iteration where it's smooth. And you
Mhm.
just get really kind of overwhelmed by all the things.
Mhm.
You give me hope that you can still maintain your energy, entrepreneurial energy and spirit amidst the grind. And I think
Yeah.
we get tons of messaging about hustle culture, which I think
Mhm.
is very unhealthy. And I think we've
Mhm.
been spoon fed, up it with the sun, 18-hour days, as you described, never going to spend time with your kids, blah, blah, blah. And we get framed in this idea of that's the only way to do it. That's the only way to build anything. Entrepreneurs will live like no one, will live like no one else will, so that they can live like no one else can in the future. No one else would work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40 hours for someone else. Like, that's the messaging around it.
Mhm.
And it seems so unsustainable. And yet you come in here like full of joie de vivre and energy and excitement. Like you had 18 hours of rest and a massage every single time I meet you.
Oh,
Give the children at home some ideas about how you do that, and I'm listening.
I
I
love it. I love it. And so it's so funny because I can relate to that. I really, really can. Because before I went full time in my business, so I've only been just a year full time in my business. So
what?
I started out as a
Shut
hustle.
shut up.
So
Shut up.
I
I would have
started
thought you had this thing for as long as I've been out here, that you've been like with executive
no,
co-pilot.
no, but the thing is, so I started the business in 2015, right? But I didn't really do it full time. It was kind of the
Hmm.
thing I did when I didn't have anything else to do, right? And
Do you
so,
never not have anything else to do? You seem like you live a pretty full life.
well, but I had a full-time day job. That's the
Hmm.
thing. So I had these full-time day jobs. And so I was like, okay, on the nights and weekends, I'll do this little thing. I'll see if I can get my own clients. And then, as time went on and I kept on getting more and more serious about it, by 2019, so 4 years in, I'd started experiencing a couple things. And I was like, hey, this could really be something. And then the pandemic hit, and it's like, it really became something. and
Now we're for
and it
real,
just
for real.
it's a for real, for real. And so but I know what it's like though to be working all day long, come home, try to be wife and mom and get all the housework done and try to cook a meal and those kinds of things. And I still suffer and I'm lacking in so many areas. But then I run my business in the evenings and on the weekends. And so I was that person who did not get sleep. And I was working those 16-hour days, 6 days a week to make this happen. But in August of 2022, that all changed. And I am now full time in the business, running the business, doing the business, building the business since last year. So I just celebrated 1 year full time as an entrepreneur. And it, it has been truly amazing, the things that I have learned and the opportunities that have presented themselves. So, you were asking about how do you do the entrepreneurial grind and still have fun? So, I still had fun because I felt honestly that I was operating in my purpose, that I was doing the things I love to do. I was helping people. I was lightening people's load. I was partnering with executives, which is what I've always done my whole entire career, to make their lives better. And it just gave me such joy. And I just looked forward to waking up every single morning to see who else's life I could personally impact. But then as the business kept growing, I was like, I can't do this myself anymore. That's too much. So I brought on virtual assistants, and Ashley was my first virtual assistant team member. And the two of us together, we made magic. I'm telling you, she was like, I was able to duplicate myself, and she was on top of it, top notch. Loved it until she was able to lighten my load so I could get more sleep. So I loved what I was doing every single day in the grind. And I was able to now have even more fun that Ashley was on the team and that she was able to now help lighten my load so that I could get more done because I've got more sleep. Does that
And
make sense?
now you're emotionally available.
Now I'm emotionally available, and I still have all the fun and the energy. Because if you think about it like this, some people like to work out. I'm not one of those people, but some people do. And they push.
Not me, girl. Not me. I mean, I actually do like it, but I just do not. I don't like the habit of it.
No, yeah, that's not my thing. But I've seen them on television. They lift up these heavy weights, like 300 pounds, and they're pushing, pushing, pushing. It's hard to smile and have joy when you're lifting up this 300-pound weight. You're like, your face is all squished up. You can't have joy and fun lifting up 300-pound weights, right? So if you lighten the load and maybe only had to carry a 50-pound weight, you can go, hey, right? And it's not a big deal. That's kind of like us. That's what we do. We take those weights off of that 300-pound dumbbell and we take care of the things that need to get done. And that's how you can still have fun in your business, is by lightening your load.
So what you're saying is you're saving lives. You're out here. You're out here saving lives. But I do think there is something to that. And I just also would like to acknowledge that Janine says, congratulations, you're indeed operating within your purpose. #joy. And I know that both of you are very spiritual women. So I think this will really resonate with you. So thank you, Janine, for continuing keeping the comments going. You are awesome. But it does seem like you're out here saving lives a little bit, Renee, because I mean, these entrepreneurial lives are a unique animal. And so you were hustling on your own. You had this like 16-hour days on nights and weekends. Then you find this like beautiful purpose and being a leader. If you had been my boss, I might not have never gone out on my own. To be honest, I think that a large chunk of entrepreneurs are leaving bad bosses rather than going out to solve a problem. So if you had been my boss, I might have never hung out my own shingle, but that's irrelevant. Now that I have, so you did that, and then you recognized, that you can continue, like a rising tide will lift all of these boats. So I do think you're out here saving lives for real. That people don't have to go through that angst of nights, weekends. They can opt out of the hustle. Basically outsource hustle culture. They can outsource the grind to you, which is phenomenal.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there can be work-life balance and joy. And I think it benefits your bottom line even more because you are so much more available, because you have so much more capacity, because you've given away the work that keeps you in the pit. I'm gonna call it the pit. You're in the pit. And because you're so in the pit doing all the things, you can't be emotionally available to the people who need you, which, it's your other coworkers, the people who work for you. If you're in there, you can't be emotionally available to them, truly trying to hear their heart of the things that they're saying, because you got all this other stuff on your mind.
No one knows what the client wants and how to innovate more than the people who are actually touching the work. And if you're so overwhelmed of being like the founder and CEO of your own thing that you can't even hear or listen to them, those opportunities for innovation, for improving your service delivery model, for possibly opening up a new line of services, for bringing on a new person, those are And
Yeah.
I think this really illustrates how being emotionally available for innovation and evolution, this is how it can either hold you back or liberate you,
Yeah.
in very real terms, which I think is awesome.
Yep.
Renee,
Absolutely. 100%.
thank you. See, you're out here saving lives. Renee, when you talked about this business, you're like, I've been supporting executives my whole life. You also mentioned, like, how about leaving the office and coming home and going to more of your kids' ball games or having dinner. This frames it in this way of thinking about kind of like established small business, maybe kind of a corporate model. But I know that you're out here saving lives of just regular old entrepreneurs as well, who may not have a brick and mortar, may not see themselves as an executive. I don't know that I would see myself as an executive, but I'm like chomping at the bit to be, to stop getting ready to get ready and have, executive help now. Like, seriously, how do you incur? I guess my prompt here or my setup is like, hey, tell the folks out there what kind of clients you actually love working with, and maybe help folks who don't see themselves as an executive, maybe they're a founder or a solopreneur, who still would benefit from your business building team for team.
Yeah. So our ideal client is someone who is overworked, someone who is tired, someone who wants a partner in helping them to accomplish their goals. So we're for entrepreneurs and enterprising businesses who need to embody operational excellence and know the cost of not doing it right. So that's who our ideal client is. It's of course an investment, but when you bring on executive help now, you get peak performing a cohort of specialists, managers, and executive assistants who deliver to you one-on-one personally, as well as to your entire organization, if that's what you're dealing with, to give you back your life so that you can be emotionally available for innovation and evolution without dropping a single glass ball or missing a single golden opportunity. Because building a business is a team effort.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry right now. I'm gonna cry because it's very rare that when I go through the work of positioning with somebody where it's kind of a one-off, it's not part of a larger scope of work, that I see them implement it so successfully. So I just want to say, hearing you talk in those words and that terminology based on the collaboration that you and I did, it's catching me in all the feels to hear you say it out loud. How did you absorb that positioning statement so flawlessly, and has it helped you get better clients? Question mark.
Yes. Oh my goodness. When you and I were able to spend this time together, it truly helped me focus on the things that were necessary for me to grow my business and understand my business. That's even more so. Understanding my business, understanding where we've been, where we are, and where we want to go, and how we're going to get there. Spending time with you helped piece all of that together. It was one sentence at a time, one line at a time. We did all kinds of maneuvering around and why this and asking all kind of questions. Why did you say it that way? And how come you said it that way? And did you really mean this? Or do you really mean that? And hearing new words. That all mattered so much. And I have created, when we were able to come to this one, and it just resonated with my spirit. I said, this is who we are. This is who we're for. This is why people should work with us. It's now my screensaver on my computer.
Are you for real?
I'm for real. If I could do a screen share, then I would show you that it is definitely my computer desktop and that I see every single day when I log onto my computer, and it stays in my face so I can stay focused on the things that matter and not waste my time on the things that don't.
I did not mean to make this about me, but dang, it is so beautiful.
It was awesome. It was an amazing experience. Game changer for executive health now. Truly a game changer.
You know what?
Love
I
it.
love this so much. I'm gonna put your positioning statement up in the screen share so that people can get a chance to see it and know what we're talking about exactly. Let me scroll down here a little bit. Read this again for your audience.
Oh
Can you
wait, hold
see
on.
it?
Mine was big. Yours is tiny. Hold on.
Okay, you better get with your desktop.
Okay. So on my desktop, it says, for ambitious entrepreneurs and enterprising businesses who need to embody operational excellence and know the cost of not doing it right. EHN is the peak performing cohort of specialists, managers, and executive assistants who deliver one on one and organizational support to give you back your life and keep you emotionally available for innovation and evolution without dropping a single glass ball or missing a single golden opportunity. Because building a book of business is a team effort.
I'm gonna cry. I mean, I honestly didn't anticipate bringing this up or talking about positioning together because this is about you, and not that this isn't about you, but like, but hearing you actually use them in our discourse without prompting it's so freaking validating that this work has value. I'm so proud of you because it's crawling through the glass. Like this is work that people genuinely kind of don't want to do until they actually do it because it requires such introspective, deep thinking to then articulate. We're swimming it. We don't know that these things are special without a facilitator.
That's
And
right.
I just think that you've really impacted me today in much more of a powerful way than I expected by hearing our collaboration work its way into your everyday language. And even though I do this a lot for people, sometimes I'm looking at folks' stuff and I'm like, hey, your messaging is right there. We already did it. You're not implementing it. You're not using it. You still sound exactly the same as you did before. And then when I see someone like you actually implementing it, I mean, thank you for indulging me of just like taking a few minutes to get in the feels about it, Renee, because that's deep work. This is why I do it.
It's a difference. So we couldn't save lives without you helping us know how to do it.
You're out here saving lives, Renee.
It's a team effort.
Building a book of business is a team effort, and entrepreneurs tend to work in silos, their own desk by themselves, and feel very lonely. So that's why I do say you're out here saving lives because learning from mistakes as we kind of pitched off this entire episode of being just transparent about a few things that have happened in a very real way, and you and I just trying to work together moments, and then sharing how you have created this incredibly powerful agency full of specialists, but also doers, also managers, people who are always keeping their eye on those glass balls and those golden opportunities, which, by the way, if I redid positioning, I might have called those golden nuggets instead of golden opportunities.
I love it.
So feel free to kind of update that and be the person that we see before you right now. Tell the folks at home a little bit about your own live show and the content that you're creating and what's happening over there so that folks who, like me, cannot get enough of that good Renee Hastings energy have a place to go and experience more of your entrepreneurial energy and joy.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. So I do have my own podcast. It is called Renee Speaks, and we're on YouTube. And I believe that there might be a link available or a handle for how to get there. It's Renee Hastings. Excuse me. So we're on YouTube every Friday, 1 o'clock. A new episode drops, and the first Friday of every month we have a live recording, and it is always a blast. But we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on all the socials.
We'll put
And
those in the show notes, folks, so you don't have to do any guesswork. We'll make sure that your links get posted.
absolutely. And we also have a text number. So you can text VA now to a telephone number that we'll also leave in the show notes. If you are wondering whether or not you're ready for a VA, that's another thing that we have available. Because some people are like, I don't know, I'm a solopreneur. It's just one person. Am I ready? Is it time? And so if you text VA now to the telephone number that's in the show notes, then
Which is what? Say it out loud for folks who are... Say it out loud for folks who don't want to read the... Oh, you have to look it up? That's hilarious.
I do have to look it up. Hold
Sorry,
on.
girl, I set you up.
Yeah, totally. And I turned my phone off because it kept pinging. And I was like, I don't want my phone to be dinging while I'm trying to do a live show. so I
no worries. We will get
anyway,
it. We will get it in the show notes for sure. But
absolutely.
That's innovative. And so does that lead to a discovery call for you when people text this number?
So. Yeah.
Has it historically? What an interesting way to get people
working on it. Yeah.
in conversation.
Yeah, so they just ask a couple questions. So we need your email address so we can send you the link to the form, or to the freebie. But it definitely has great thought-provoking questions like, is this your situation? Do you find yourself in this situation? What about this? Well, then you might want to think about, these are some solutions to kind of help you with that. And if you're still having difficulty, then call us and we're happy to help you. So
these are the kind of innovations that I'm talking about that I haven't heard anybody do. I mean, I know that some CRMs have a text, like an SMS marketing moment to them, but to use that as a catalyst to get a discovery call going and then also add a name to the email list, I think that is hot. And it probably wouldn't have happened if you were still working 16-hour weekends, 16-hour weekend days.
It certainly would not. So I'm super excited. We've got some other innovations that are coming in for Renee Speaks and partnerships and opportunities. So those things are still very much in the brand new workings, and we're still finalizing some details on that. But I will definitely be sharing more information on that. And one of the other things I wanted to chat about is that on October 8th, the LA Rams are playing the Eagles. And on one of my shows last month, the guest speaker was with a volunteer for the American Cancer Society. And her name was Marie ZQ. She's a LA radio talk show host. She's going to be on the field at halftime talking about the American Cancer Society at the game where the LA Rams are playing the Eagles on October 8th to bring awareness to breast cancer and ask people to continue to support the American Cancer Society and bring breast cancer awareness. So I encourage anyone who is listening to this show to watch the show, support the American Cancer Society, and be involved in breast cancer awareness, because it's a thing.
Mama, I was going to ask you your call to action, and you made it about somebody else. I think that is super special.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's definitely a worthy cause. It's just too prevalent, and I don't think it has to be. I don't think it should be, especially in this day and age of technology and medicine. It just drives me crazy that there aren't more advances so that more women don't have to deal with this.
I know that's a subject near and dear to Janine's heart, who is very much a fierce, full life advocate for women and women's health. This is her passion. So I'm super glad she was here in the comments today so she could hear your plug for October 8th and for folks to pay attention at halftime if you're a football fan. Even if you're not, tune in at halftime to hear these very important messages. Get selfish though, Renee. What's your call to action for folks Yeah, get selfish.
So,
Take
so,
take
okay,
a second to be
okay. I'll be selfish. So my call to action is that any solopreneur, entrepreneur, business executive, business owner who needs more time in their life, more time spent at home with their kids, more time at kids' events, doing your own thing on the lake, fishing, whatever your thing is.
Sounds good. Go ahead, Wisconsin.
Call us, because life is too short to check your own email, schedule your own appointments, and book your own travel.
And send emails with proper links and showing up on time.
Please send emails with proper links.
We're begging you.
Call us. We'll help you.
Exactly right. I need to call that 9. I need to put up the bat signal for sure. Renee Hastings, this hour flew by.
Oh my God. I cannot believe it's 1 o'clock already.
It's 1 o'clock already. So my call to action is to smash that like and subscribe button so that more people can amplify in Renee's beautiful entrepreneurial energy. And I encourage you to onboard her team for team. I've already sent a client over to Renee, and so far it's working out swimmingly.
Yeah.
So
thank you for that, girl.
Yeah, and she's been somewhere else. She's been to another VA agency. So let that doubly stand for how awesome you are. So I will continue to recommend you and be just ever so grateful that you let me be my full self, sometimes warts and all. And I hope that we will. I hope that we will be thought partners and entrepreneurial. Link our pinks entrepreneurially for a long time.
Absolutely. Same here. The feeling is mutual. Thank you.
Thank you, Stone Fruit Roll Up audience. Again, every Thursday here on YouTube and on LinkedIn at high noon Eastern Standard Time. That's 12 p.m. Where we are building this show while we're live streaming it, because why not? We're not going to pull up that ladder. I also noticed you had a ladder on your website, so that's definitely thematic.
We're like this.
Thank you, Renee. I'm going to play us out with some music. I think it's not my wheelhouse. I definitely need one of your digital media experts to come and help me out, but I'm going to try it. And I want to say thank you for your time and energy. You are awesome.
I got you. So are you.
Yeah, thanks. There it goes. I did it. Oh, still live. End stream. Yes. Still live. Let's end that stream.